Top 5 exotic pets you can buy. Whether you want to be that guy at a party with an iguana on your shoulder, or you just can't live without an adorable little monkey, odds are you're into exotic pets. The exotic pet trade is global, and it includes many cute and interesting animals. Of course, not everything available is necessarily a good pet. Some are incredibly difficult to care for, while others are just plain dangerous. These 5 critters may have seemed like a good idea at first, and there are places where you can own them, but you absolutely shouldn't. Number 5. Prairie dogs. Prairie dogs are adorable rodents found throughout the Great Plains of the United States. They are often seen standing outside their burrows as lookouts for predators. Prairie dogs are a type of ground squirrel, though they don't have long bushy tails. Regardless, they are cute little critters, so many people have taken them in as pets. This is probably the worst thing you can do, but not because of potential damage to your home. Prairie dogs are social creatures that live in family groups of between 15 and 26 individuals. These groups are called towns, and they can span a large area. Inside their groups, prairie dogs engage in grooming and oral contact called kissing. Depriving a prairie dog of its social grouping means you will have to take the place of dozens of prairie dogs. Taking one as a pet means you'll have to spend several hours each day grooming and caring for your prairie dog. This may be fun at first, but eventually, the little furball will see less and less of you. Some people have taken in prairie dogs and managed to care for them properly. However, it's recommended you take in more than one. Caring for them is difficult and time-consuming, so keeping these critters is a responsibility few can fulfill. Ultimately, it's far better to leave them alone and watch them from afar. Number 4. Fennec Foxes. Fennec foxes are one of the few foxes taken in as pets, and they are best known for their large ears. They are the smallest of all the canids, weighing less than 1.3 kilograms. At most. Their large ears, small size, and adorable features make them desirable as pets. Still, you need to know what you're getting into if you adopt one. Fennec foxes are crepuscular by nature, so they are most active at twilight. Even if they are tamed, this isn't likely to change, so you're getting a pet that would undoubtedly wake you early in the morning or keep you up at night. They also love to dig and have been known to create large holes, looking for insects to eat. It is illegal to own fennec foxes in most places, so you'll want to check with your local laws to make sure you can have one. If you cross that hurdle, you'll need to feed your pet properly, and regular dog food won't cut it. It can become a large part of their diet, but they'll need more. You have to supplement their diet with fresh fruit, vegetables, and freshly killed rodents. They will live longer in captivity, 14 years instead of 10, but they require a lot of specialized attention and accommodation. They should not be adopted lightly, so do your research and prepare accordingly if you insist on having one. Number 3. Servals. A serval is a species of wild cat found throughout the non-rainforest regions of Africa. They evolved to have the longest legs of any cat, and are often spotted with a golden yellow coat. They are gorgeous animals, and while they look somewhat like domesticated cats, that's not what they are. Some serval cats have been tamed, but they aren't a domesticated species. Despite this, they have held a place in human history for quite some time. Their representation has been found in 4,000-year-old Egyptian art. They were often given as gifts from Nubia, but today, they are part of the exotic pet trade. Servals are illegal to own in many places, but some parts of the world welcome them as pets. The biggest problem with keeping them as pets is that people think of them as a sort of exotic cat. In a way, they are and they aren't, but the biggest difference between the two is the serval's need for a large area to explore and hunt. They aren't going to be content sitting on a bed in your apartment. These animals need to stretch those long legs. They require special diets and often need specialized veterinary care. They also mark their territory and don't adjust to litter boxes well. Ultimately, it's far better to adopt a standard issue house cat and leave servals to their natural environment. Number 2. Kappabara. The Kappabara is the largest rodent species, and it looks a lot like a giant guinea pig. Like everything on this list, they are cute and fascinating animals, which can be adopted as pets. Of course, they are on this list, and you should avoid adopting them for various reasons. Like prairie dogs, the Kappabara is social creatures, and they usually move about in groups of 100 individuals. Some live in smaller groups, but they are never alone, and they should never be left alone. They are rather large, but saying these are the largest rodent species may not paint the right picture. When they think of rodents, people tend to picture mice or other small animals, but these guys can grow to 2 feet in height and weigh in at 77 kilograms. That's significantly larger than most dogs. And because these are social animals, you can't keep only one, you're going to need to get several. Kappabara is legal to own in very few places, and if you do keep them, you're going to need ample space. They will need a pool of standing water, and around 12 feet by 20 feet of space per pair of Kappabara. They may be cute, but keeping them as pets is costly, challenging, and inadvisable. Number 1. Kinkajous. Kinkajous, also known as honey bears, are small frugivorous mammals native to Central and South America. They are related to raccoons, and while they look a bit like primates, they aren't related to them. They live in the trees and are nocturnal, so they don't interact with people in the wild. They are hunted in their natural habitat for the exotic pet industry, though it can be difficult to purchase one. Still, you can get kinkajous as pets in some parts of the world, but like everything on this list, you shouldn't unless you have a lot of time, money, and space. Kinkajous may be kept as pets, but they are rarely considered tame. They tend to scratch and bite their keepers in zoos and in homes, so they don't make for great pets. Their saliva carries dangerous bacteria, which can cause severe and potentially deadly reactions in some people if they are bitten. Aside from the potential danger, it's difficult to house a kinkajou in an environment suitable for them. They live in dark rainforests, so they have light, humidity, and flora requirements that can be difficult to maintain. You can get them as pets, but it's best to leave these creatures in their native habitat.